The gap, I'm obsessed with the gap. Because the gap, it's relevant to Wolves, because like how good are Wolves? They haven't played Liverpool, City or Chelsea yet, so they're doing all right, but they haven't played any of them yet. Really good defensive record, but you're not played the lads who score all the goals yet, and all of that sort of stuff. But I think the reason why fans stream out of Old Trafford and stream out of Goodison is because they're sat there in their seat looking at the gap and going, certainly in the case of Everton, we'll never close this gap. And that's how good this Liverpool team is at the minute. It's making people go, these are so much better than us, we can't even be on the same pitch as them.
Yeah, it's funny how like these numbers change all the time. So it's like, you know, there's a big 4, then a big 6, and now it's a big 3.
Yeah, and it's a very big 3.
Yeah, and the miles off, you know, I was laughing at the gap to United the other day, because I know they've won now, haven't they? But it was 13 points, obviously down to 10 now. They beat Arsenal. Fucking hell, Sam. But yeah, we're streets ahead of every team, and like it's actually hard to say something different on some of the shows, because you're doing a preview and you're going, well, everything, I've gone away, I've looked at all of it, I've looked at the stats, the XG, the results, and you're meant to say something other than the Reds should definitely win this, because the Reds are unbelievable, the Reds are great, the Reds are sweeping side to side, and you know, the derby is one of those weird games. You know, me and you did the preview, didn't we? And you were saying it's one of those games that's different. They'll be so up for it. They've got the crowd. They only need to get a draw, and it's like a win for them. All of those things. Fucking believe them, right?
Made no difference.
Yeah.
I think the gap is, for me, it's why it'll hurt so much if they do drop points. I think that's worth pointing out, you know what I mean? If they go to Molineux and they do drop points, we'll be walking out of that ground. Let's say they just draw, it's a good game, it's 2-2. Liverpool even get a last minute equaliser. We'll still be walking out going, for fuck's sake. Yeah. That's what makes it taxing, if you know what I mean, because you are just conscious that Wolves aren't a bad side, they might be quite a good one, but them, all the quite good sides, I include West Ham in it, who beat us for God's sake, and then the big 3. Yeah. And that's it. It is the big 3. It's the very big 3.
You know what's happened as well, though? So when we drew at Brentford, we done the hot mic on that, and it was like, these are going to cause other team problems. And you can talk yourself into it at that stage of the season, because it's probably 7 or 8 games or whatever. And you're like, well, wow, this might be a different type of season. And I said it myself. I said maybe football's reverting back to the way it's always been, where anyone can beat anyone. But really now we've seen that any early defeats for like Southampton getting the draw at Man City, Crystal Palace beating them 2-0, are more likely to be the anomaly rather than the norm. And I think so. You now know that in reality, a draw at Molineux, if you want to win the league, isn't good enough. So you know now the gap is you've got to beat what can now be classed as the fodder. And madly enough, this season, instead of it being like 6th down as the fodder, you've got to say it's from 4th down. You've got to beat every single one of them, because you think of Man City going somewhere or Chelsea going somewhere. They've both got issues with firepower, but fuck me, they can defend, can't they? So they've got a way to win games. They can both win games. City probably more so than Chelsea. They can win games in different ways. Chelsea are probably a little bit more...
bit rigid.
Yeah, a little bit stuck in their system, but it's working for them at the moment. So you think they might be the ones to drop. Whereas with Liverpool, we conceded goals, but that seems to have stopped now as well. Do you know what I mean? We've got our defensive solidity, but my God, do we score some goals? Our record this season is phenomenal.
The bad thing on the scoring goals is Salah's amazing, but he's also missing chances. I think the thing that would most concern me is at the goal scoring run we're on, where we could have scored, there's every chance we've scored 50 league goals by games 16 or 17, which is insane. But we're not doing it where there's some lad who's just in unbelievable shape and everything he's hitting goes in. There's not this mad over performance. They just create loads of chances, and if they miss one, they just create another one, and if they miss one, they just create another one, and that's what would terrify me.
Yeah, for me, and talking about the numbers and the goals and stuff this year, you're always sort of hear about Barcelona's and the crazy numbers that Messi gets and Ronaldo gets, and you're like 50 goals a season or whatever, and you think that's not real. You like that's not in a real league. Like the streets ahead, but all the other teams are not quite at the level. We're in the Premier League now, and we're producing those numbers. Like, it really is unprecedented what's happening and what we're witnessing. You know, Salah, it's just like we spoke about through the week. There's just not enough words, and you can't stop talking about it because it is that unprecedented.
How many do you think he'll score? End
50,
of the season?
50?
You think you'll get 50?
50, yeah. 50.
All comps 50?
Yeah, he's on over 20 now, isn't he?
I think he's on 19 in all comps, isn't he? Yeah. And obviously we're going through in the Champions League. 50's not, it's not the only realms of fancy. The only thing that might stop that, I suppose, is the African Cup of Nations, depending on how many games he misses. But I was looking at that today, and there's literally about 42 games between now and Christmas, and then 3 games in the whole of January that actually matter. Yeah. So I mean, the FA Cup's in there, obviously, but the reality of the matter is there's a gap between that and the Premier League now, so who gives a fuck about it?
To get full access to this show, click on the link in the post and subscribe to Talk Premium. You get all of our content, including previews, reviews, post-match content, exclusive interviews and loads of transfer chats. So subscribe to the Anfield Wrap now. We share the journey of supporting Liverpool from heart of the city.